to look directly into the light.
Is that directly into your eyes? Good morning, everybody. It's Eugene
and Marie.
And we're here today with a new episode of Half Awake Fully Caffeinated. I am saying a new episode because I don't remember what number this is.
Yeah, we're on something in the teens.
It will tell you in the description when you
figure it out.
You find it.
Yeah.
You'll know.
You'll know.
And per usual, we have 2 non-coffee topics and 2 coffee topics. And my topics are Freckles, ¿Qué es esto, Freckles? And then, do espresso shots die?
Good questions. Good questions.
Yeah. Go ahead, pat yourself a little bit.
Thank you. My questions are, how do lithium-ion batteries work?
Oh yeah.
And is that lithium battery joke I made before make more sense now?
Yeah. Actually, 100%.
And my mom's coffee. What's my mom's coffee? What she drinks?
Mom's coffee.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna get started. Okay. I'm gonna kick it off.
Please. Wait. We're drinking.
Oh yeah.
Costa Rica.
2 different Costa Ricas. One Costa Rica from my dude, my guy, the one, the only, Enrique from Diverso Coffee Roasters is in this one. So, Diverso.
I hate it. It's disgusting. No, I'm just kidding. I actually really like it.
It's very well balanced.
Delicious.
He did a very good job.
Very good job.
Good job, Enrique. You're probably not even listening to this, but important for you to know that you did a good job.
We're putting it out there.
It's out there. Good energies, good waves.
Yeah.
Happy for you, Diverso. And I'm starting a time timer. Oh, and then the other Costa Rica.
I mean, you do you.
This one is a sample roast that we have. And it is currently in consideration for the shop. Four minutes to start talking about espresso.
Yes.
So, the question of does espresso die? And I believe that this is in reference to does espresso die if you leave it out too long after brewing, not does espresso die in the existential idea of does espresso disappear?
Does its lifeblood stop beating through its body?
Beating through its body. Although it kind of, so looking it up, it kind of feels like that when we talk about it, because the biggest culprit as to why espresso shots die is oxidation.
So they do die.
I don't entirely know if it's dying, because it's inorganic.
Okay.
But the reaction that the inorganic material is having with oxygen is what causes espresso to die. And technically, the interactions that our bodies have with oxygen is also contributing to us die, as we've talked about before, correct? But what I'm finding, and what is very interesting, is that oxidation is legitimately just any interaction that happens with oxygen. So rusting is an oxidation.
Okay.
Because water mixed with air corrodes steel or metal.
Yes.
So you get rust from that. And so in espresso, you have crema and you have other acids and all these other volatile compounds. And as oxygen finds its way into the crema, it says, hey dude, let's interact.
Hey dude.
Hey dude, let's interact. And it just kind of takes the lipids from the crema and it's like, let's get rancid.
Ooh, okay.
And so, maybe there's some coffees out there where it's it doesn't turn into an unpleasant taste, but it's not entirely a process that creates bright acidity and complexity. It actually creates a little bit less of a exciting experience. And so more often than not, the crema is interacting with oxygen, and then it goes from being this beautiful fat create a beautiful like lipid and turns into a rancid lipid. And it's like, tastes bad.
Okay.
And then along with that, the bitterness and the acidity starts to become more pronounced, again, because of the way that oxidation is interacting.
Okay.
And a lot of it's just like how the electrons in the coffee are actually being like released or
Electrons?
changed. It's a molecular level.
It's a molecular level, bro.
Molecular. And this is kind of going to be the theme of the things I'm talking about today. But along with that, as oxygen is interacting, we're like, hey, let's ruin this espresso and murder it slowly. The release of CO2 also affects the flavor and the smell and everything of it, because what I'm also finding is that CO2 is a transporter for sugars and a few other things. And so it actually, like when there's more CO2 in your coffee, not in like the sparkling CO2 way, but like in the way that there was CO2 built up inside the coffee bean, and as you brew, it starts to expand and appear. That CO2 actually transports, or seem like, this is a little like where I was poking into research and it just kept on like coming out. It's like, well, it makes things brighter, or it does this. But it seems that CO2 transports, or I don't know if it's like a bridge for flavor. And
it's a bridge for flavor. I like that.
And without CO2, you don't get as much of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So espresso shots do die. So don't just leave it there.
They do die, but...
Do die. Do die.
Do you think temperature also has to do with
yes,
it?
100%. I did not get there, but temperature does also affect it. As it gets cooler, the flavor profile does change, but again, it is kind of related to oxidation.
Okay.
But yes, as it gets cooler, it also changes the flavor profile. So drink your coffee relatively hot.
Yeah, or warmish.
Or
However
just accept that your palate might be...
There's a bug.
What was this?
There's a bug.
Just accept that your palate might be leaning towards something more rancid.
The more you know.
The more you know. All right, your turn.
My turn.
I didn't get to do that.
You didn't. Okay. My turn. I'm ready.
Yeah?
Do you have the... I don't.
Oh yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
have my phone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Start.
Okay, my mom's coffee. My mama, she goes one of two ways. If she is getting, I have two very distinct memories of her two very different drinks that she gets. One of them is we were road tripping from Scotland back home to England, and it was like 2 a.m. because we got stuck in literal standstill traffic for about 2 hours.
Makes sense.
And that was when I learned what an Americano was.
Oh, okay.
She stopped at a gas station and got one of those. And I remember the first time I ever tried an Americano, I was like, whoa, my mom likes really intense coffee, you guys.
Well, how old
it's crazy. When I first tried an Americano, I was like 18.
Oh, with your mom?
But I'm sorry, I made that confusing. That wasn't the first time I had tried an Americano. That's just the first time I remember my mom ordering coffee.
Okay, got it.
Was getting an Americano. And she usually would drink just like black drip or Americano or something like that. Or her favorite drink, her special little treat drink is a mocha, to the point where in my family, I'm telling you an embarrassing family secret right now.
Right.
There is also video evidence
of this. Fortunate.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
So we nicknamed it the Schmocha because my mom's name is Shauna, and so it's Shauna's Mocha, Schmocha. We drink one every year on her birthday. It was actually her birthday on last Monday, or this
Monday.
What day is it?
It's Thursday.
Oh my God, it was on Monday. Yes,
So,
the 10th.
Did you have a schmocha?
I did have a Schmocha.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I had a Schmocha. There is video evidence of is me and my sister and my brother-in-law made a birthday video for her. where we were all wearing dresses that my mother made and doing a little skit, some may say, of us pulling up through Starbucks and being like, can we get a schmocha? And then the person being like, oh, what? And we're like, a schmocha! I have it. I'm not gonna, it's embarrassing. But yes, that is my mom's coffee.
We're releasing on the Beanyards Instagram anytime
now. My sister sent it to me just the other day because I was like, that exists still. There is also a song portion to it, but I don't remember. It's so embarrassing.
You call it embarrassing, but I feel like those are things that as a Korean kid, we never did that.
I was 21 when we made this.
Exactly. Still don't. Never ever got there. I was never at that point ever like, oh, we should make a video for my mom and my dad and they'd appreciate it. I think more often than not, I'm going to get assaulted by this moth.
I know.
I think more often than not, it's more like, oh, we made this video and it's like, okay. And then they'd move on. They'd be like, no legitimate interaction to whether or not it was good.
That makes my heart sad.
Although I don't know, we've never tried it, so maybe we should just for the fun of it. We can do it with I think if we did it with my niece, nephew, and my son.
Oh, then it would get all the points.
It would get all the points
for sure. Yeah.
But it's funny because you're bringing up your mom's coffee, and I'm thinking back adolescent, children's age, and I'm trying to remember whether or not there was actually a legitimate memory, or if corporate America's commercials for Folger and shit is affecting my memories as a a small child. I do have to say though, I do know there is one memory where I remember seeing my mom and my dad brew coffee, and it was in the corner of the kitchen, and I was like, I kind of want to try it, and they're like, no, sorry, you don't get to try it until you're this age or something like that. And I was like, all right, logged for the future.
Yeah.
That was about it.
So I grew up, I know the timer went off, but this is sort of not even relevant. But anyway, grew up in a Mormon household. However, my parents' way of...
That actually does make me question why you were drinking coffee.
But my parents were kind of weird Mormons, aka my dad not really, and my mom also drank coffee. Anywho, because it was a Mormon household, we had a coffee machine that we kept in the pantry, tucked away and never used. But it was only ever used when someone, when a friend popped around and they're like, do you want a coffee or tea? And we would pull it out from the pantry, dust it off and whatever, because that was the coffee we would
But your mom drank coffee, she was still LDS before.
Listen, yes, but
they didn't use the coffee maker.
She didn't start drinking coffee really until I was in my teens-ish.
I think I might have to change the predetermined question that we had, because now I have questions about coffee and Mormonism.
Ooh. I mean, guess what? There's going to be another episode.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, this is a aggressive moth, and it seems to be confused as to which light it wants to be.
It's going to all of them at once.
I actually was assaulted by a very large moth in my car this morning as well.
No, I hate moths.
At first I thought it was a butterfly, and then I was like, it's not a butterfly. It's an absolutely massive moth. Is it on my chest?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's over there.
Okay. It's right next to me! Get one of my nose! This moth has interrupted our filming. What the heck, dude? Why is it so aggressive?
Because there's so many bright lights happening right now.
I know, it's just discombobulated. We're gonna go ahead, we're churning on, because moths should not be knocking us off our tilterms.
Yeah.
Freckles.
Freckles.
Are you asking because you get freckles? I actually don't even.
Oh, don't look at my scratches. But
yeah, I was about to say. It looks like you got assaulted by a cat.
No, this was actually a blackberry bush.
Blackberries. You have blackberries. Congratulations.
But my shoulders are the freckliest. You can kind of see them.
Okay. All right. So great. Freckles. Freckles are associated with the gene MC13, which is usually associated with individuals with extremely fair skin. I was looking into why freckles and like how do they appear and what's going on and whatnot. And it comes down to melanin in the skin, which is created by melanocytes. And so your melanocytes, when they get attacked by, not attacked, but when they are exposed to UV radiation, your melanocytes are like, let's create melanin. Because melanin will reduce the harm of UV rays and actually make it so that you don't have damage in the lower portions of your skin. And so we'll talk about really fast, what the fuck with this moth? So we'll actually talk a little bit about how melanin actually helps with UV radiation. So, you know, most people see melanin as like the darker pigmentation of skin, which I have darker pigmentation of skin, much darker than Anne-Marie. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see this.
Very clearly see this.
Melanin actually absorbs UV radiation, which is such an interesting way of saying it, but it absorbs UV radiation. And there is this thing called non-radiation relaxation where the photons hit the melanin and there's dormant electrons just sitting in your melanin, and when the photons hit it, the electrons go, ooh, and they shake and they get excited. And because of their shaking and excitement, it actually dissipates the photons, and instead of allowing for radiation to, oh God, it's not even a fucking moth, what is that?
I don't know, but I killed it.
That thing, if it stings you, it hurts like a motherfucker. It's like a lion ant or something. Anyways, where are these coming from?
I think it was just the one.
That was it?
I think so.
That was the moth?
I think so.
That definitely wasn't the moth.
Because, well, I mean, that's not a moth, but I don't see the thing flying around anymore. Hello?
Okay. I'm going to go over my time limit because this insect incident has derailed anything. Anyways, so the electrons get excited, it dissipates the photons, and instead of allowing for the actual, yes, kill it, which is a terrible thing to say, but those things hurt so bad. When photons are allowed to get through your skin, so your fair skin, it goes through, radiation goes into a much deeper layer in your dermis.
Whoa.
Versus with melanin shaking electrons all over the place, it dissipates the heat and it creates heat and dissipates it across the top layer of the skin.
Whoa.
So it's actually crazy to think, like, because you think it's just dark skin. So it makes you better at, absorbing. It actually is melanin, and there's a intense amount of melanin in my skin, properly distributed.
Properly distributed.
While as for you, with the MC1R gene, your melanin is distributed in clumps. Freckly clumps.
Freckly clumps.
And the way that, at least the theory as to why yours is distributed in freckly clumps is because your peoples, the individuals that are part of the mitochondrial eve of Europe, yes, the higher areas where there's not as much sun, there is a necessity to get more vitamin D. And so somehow, my mitochondrial ancestors, they were like, we have plenty of sun, so we actually need our melanin properly distributed. While as for you, your ancestors were like, we need more sun.
I need sun.
I need vitamin D. And so your freckles clump to allow for better vitamin D absorption. So it's kind of like that, the balance of, hey, we need to protect your skin from UV radiation, but also we need vitamin D when we can get the vitamin D.
Yeah. I have heard that redheads absorb vitamin D faster than...
100%. But you also burn very quickly.
I do. but it takes me a lot longer than I think it should for me to
What
burn.
is like the general span? Like 0
So,
to 30 minutes is good.
Here's
30 minutes
what
plus is good.
happens with me is my shoulders, as you saw, all freckle.
Freckle up.
Back of my neck get burnt. Everything else does not change.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't get very many freckles on the face?
Cause like I have freckles, they get like a little bit darker maybe in the sun, but like.
Do you wear sunscreen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Great. Well, yeah, that's freckles. There was a lot more information that I had to, I think, share, but now it's totally gone.
It's all gone. There's
Yeah.
a big bug.
It wasn't even a moth. It was legitimately one of the worst insects I've ever had
I didn't know.
to deal with in my life.
I've never met one of those before.
Okay, fun story. Before this was a coffee shop, it was the office for the glove shop. I was riding a bike here from my past residence, and as I was coming, a fucking one of those hits me on the leg, and because it's stunned, it stings me, and it hurts. This is 2 or 3 days before I go to Ghana. So I go to Ghana, walking in like we did a safari, and I'm walking in the jungle, same fucking insect. Somehow, all the way across the world in Africa,
It knew.
lands into my fucking boot, and it stings me again, and it's the exact same sensation, and I'm like, what? Fuck.
Damn.
So yeah, that,
They're out to get you.
well, I might need to find out what insect that is. but-
Yeah.
All right, yeah, like your coffee question.
My non-coffee question.
Oh yeah, your non-coffee.
My non-coffee question.
Ready, go.
Lithium ion batteries. It's
Right.
gonna be hard to do this in 4 minutes.
I believe in you.
But, okay, essentially, if we break it down to the very molecular stuff, which we're doing today, lithium
Is it salt?
Lithium is 2 protons
Okay.
and 3 electrons. But however, there can only ever be 2 electrons per like shell. So it's like you have the proton, you have 2 electrons, and then you have the 3rd electron floating around it.
Okay.
And that's basically like why we use it, because we're taking the electrons from the lithium we're taking the electrons, we're removing that one
That
from
floats
the
around.
floats
The
around.
easily removable
Exactly,
electron.
the easily removable one. We're removing that and putting them from one side of the battery to the other, from the cathode to the anode, I believe.
Interesting.
And what's happening in a battery is simultaneously there are electrodes are passing from one side to the other, like that. And then lithium ion particles, the lithium, it's in a like a nickel.
Back.
Yes. It's
No, that's not-
it's like the lithium is kept in like a nickel oxide or something like that to provide or help us get more electrons faster, because electrons move like this, and then the protons move like this. So we need more protons.
Very quickly.
Right, exactly. And so they pass from the cathode. I really might be mixing up the anode and the cathode, I'm not gonna lie.
Totally fine.
But they pass from that through this like barrier that is
Like a membrane.
yeah, it's like a membrane, graphite, and some other chemical called like vinyl, you know? And what that does is it, first of all, it makes the lithium particles like covered in graphite, and it protects them, so it makes them survive. The longevity of them is
Got it.
more. And so it's going from, so on this side of the battery, you have the lithium with the electrode, the spare electrode.
Electrode.
Right. And then as it goes from this side of the battery to this side, it separates, and then it goes on to this side. And what that makes is all of the energy is now gone from being positive onto here to being negative here. And that's when you need to recharge the battery. And recharging the battery literally takes all of the electrons and it just like
puts it back on the other side.
Shoots them out on the other side.
Interesting. So then how is the electricity actually created in a lithium battery? Like how are you getting the electricity? Is it because you've removed an electron and it goes to the other side and it creates like electrical currents?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so then
but
then you need more protons.
Yes, and that's so you they do this thing where before they send it out to you in the factory, I think it's called like they flood the battery or something.
So they yes, go ahead.
So basically what they do is they use the battery once, and that first time the battery is used, it's actually like 10 or 15% less effective. But what it does is it fills this whole like membrane in the middle on one side with protons, so that it's not in that like deficit where you need more protons and more electrons. Like it's
so the protons come in at the very beginning, but then you don't really need more until you've like gone through the life of the lithium battery.
Yes and no. The protons are also moving from one side to the other.
Interesting.
I don't know where the electricity comes from. I couldn't figure it out because...
I mean, it also is the same thing. So a lithium battery is technically still like a liquid battery, right?
Yes, it is.
All batteries have
it's
liquids.
An electrode. It's in an electrode liquid.
Electrolysis.
Electrolyte liquid.
Electrolytes. That's what the plants crave. Cool. Well, that's interesting. I think we might need to dig into that a little bit more and maybe do like a 10-year-old explanation somehow.
Yeah, because it was hard to get it to dumb it down into 4 minutes.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. What was my coffee question I was going to ask you?
I don't know. I remember mine though.
Okay. Well, my non-coffee question was the life of electric vehicles and how long has it taken to actually get into the place there it is now? Because I do believe the electric vehicles have been around a lot longer than you'd ever expect.
Oh.
Yes.
Dang it, now I can't remember my not coffee question. Oh! How does sunscreen work?
Good question. It's important, especially during the summer.
Yeah.
Wearing a sunscreen.
Yeah.
And then I cannot remember my coffee question, so I'm going to let you take it away first.
My coffee question for you is, does cold brew have more caffeine than
Yes, good question.
other types?
I could have sworn I had the coffee question just ready to go in my brain.
You did. I remember. You even said it to me. I don't remember it. I think you said it to me.
I do know that Brian, dear Brian,
Dear sweet Brian,
has given us another option of carbonic maceration. And what does that mean?
Maceration.
And what is it? What does it do? Why is it so great?
What is it? Cool. I'll look into it and I'll let you know.
Carbonic maceration. Sounds kind of like a torture.
Yeah, or like a really gross scientific way of like eating food, and I think that's because you masticate. Is that the word?
Sure.
I think the word is. I think it's.
Word of the day is masticate, which doesn't sound great.
I think exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's just the act of chewing.
I was also thinking about the process of where Han Solo gets turned into a rock. I don't know why, but like carbonic maceration, that's like my thought is. So, that's how we get
two different people, two very different thoughts.
Vibes.
Yeah.
All right. Per usual. I'm gonna let Anne Marie sign us off.
Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, bucko.
Bucko, whether that be that you want to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ask us questions, tell us about your day, talk about your mom.
That was not supposed to be mean. You can tell us about your mom, and we're not going to make fun of you for it.
Yeah, we don't do that here. Do you.
Yeah, do you. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.